Listen up. Relationships, boyfriends, girlfriends. So I am filming this at night because, don't ask me why, I don't know. But anyway, let's get into this video. So what to talk about is your personal statement. So basically I wrote my statement, I had my sister look it over, and honestly guys, I advise you to have somebody to look over your statement and give you pointers, look at the grammar, look at the spelling, and just see if it sounds good, and get that person to read it out loud back to you as well, just because when you've been writing something for a while, it kind of just blends into your brain, so you don't even see the mistakes that you've made, or if it sounds good. So I would advise you to get somebody to read over your statement. And I mean, in like school, if you're doing like A-levels and stuff, or college, they do that anyway. But for somebody like me, since I was doing an access course, I didn't have that. So I had my sister look it over. She obviously did hers when she was going to university, so she just read it through and advised me on what sounded good, what didn't, what to maybe edit out, what to add, because a personal statement is one of the most important things, because that's the first thing they will see about you. That's how they will know about you, to see if you're suitable for the course, right? So yeah, make sure your personal statement is tops. Most of the students that go to uni went in with like A-levels. I did not, just because I finished school a few years before, so I went in with an access course, which obviously gives you access to going to university, not the traditional A-level route. So basically I did my access course for 1 year, which was access to higher education, and then after that I applied to university, but they still needed to see my GCSE results, which was fine. After I completed the access course, I applied to 5 universities, and the one I'm going to right now was my first choice, and luckily I got in with the access course without any problems. Was really excited. Just applied to 4 other universities just in case, but when I got the offer straight away from UWE, I knew where I wanted to go. So basically I was so excited, just because I never really thought about ever going to university, if I'm being honest. So I was basically in the hospitality industry for a very long time, so I thought that was it for me. But along the lines, I stopped enjoying it, and at some point I was like, you know what, this is not for me. So I then went back and did the access course and got through to UWE to do biomedical science, which was amazing, just because I remember in high school I was never good at science really, but I enjoyed the subject. I found it really interesting. That's why I chose that degree, just because I did really love science, especially biology. So I thought biomedical science would be great for me. So yeah, so like I said, I'm doing biomedical science. It's a 3-year degree, but if you choose to, you can do a placement year, which means obviously it then becomes 4 years, which is what I'm doing. So basically, if you're going to be doing biomedical science, I just want to tell you a little bit about it. So in first year you have 4 modules that you'll be doing. You'll be doing biomedical skills, anatomy and physiology, cell biochemistry and genetics, and pathophysiology of disease. Those are the 4 modules you'll be doing. Each module is worth 30 credits. Yeah. So my first year experience really was hard, if I'm being honest. I know a lot of people, before going to university, they tell you, oh, don't worry about it, first year is really easy, you don't even need to put that much work into it, just enjoy yourself, have fun, the marks don't go towards your degree, blah blah blah. So I heard all of that. So basically I went in with that mindset, and honestly it was so hard. I don't know what people were talking about, it's easy, because it wasn't. It was really hard, and I feel like it was the combination of the amount of work we had and the level of knowledge, I guess. So for example, for anatomy, we had exams literally every month, and that meant you had to keep on going back to your notes throughout the whole year. But then it meant at the end of the year we didn't have an exam for anatomy, so in a way that was a good thing. But I feel like having the exams every month did put a strain on my stress levels. I have to admit, just because you already have all the other modules that you have to think about, but also have to keep revising for exams every month on top of your assignments and your presentations and going to lectures and all of that. So yeah, I did struggle a little bit, but second year I'm gonna work harder, push myself even further, just because I know it's gonna be even harder, if that's possible. So basically a lot of people will be going to halls, which unfortunately I do not have any advice for that, because I live at home. I was living in Peterborough in my own flat and moved back home with my parents here in Bristol when I was about to start uni, so I didn't have to go into halls just because I know it's pricey and I wasn't about to do that. So yeah, I decided to move back to save money, to get help with my son. So if you wanted advice on like how to get through halls, how to apply, what it's like, I'm so sorry I can't tell you any of that because I haven't experienced it, and I don't think I will at any point. So yeah, I think about the 6th of September we got our timetables, which I was so anxious to get just because I was nervous about like the different times that we would be going in, how often, and all of that stuff. And I was looking online, could not find even one thing about that for my university or for my course. So yeah, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the course that I was on, just in case somebody's going to be doing biomedical science. So for us, we had 1 week of lectures. We had 1 week of lectures and 1 week of practicals. So what that means is the whole week you're just doing lectures, and then the next week it's just practicals. So most of the time our lectures started around 3 p.m. and they would end at 6, or sometimes they would start around 1, and so on and so forth, and most of them were 3-hour lectures. I think the earliest lecture that we had started at 9, I believe, and the latest was around 6 p.m. but there was never a day where you started at 9 and finished at 6. It was either you started early and finished around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or you started around 1 o'clock, finished at 6, or you started around 12 and finished around 6. So there was never like a long day like that. Otherwise I would have died. Also about the timetables, we went to uni I think around 4 times a week, sometimes 3, depending on what we're doing. Practical week we went 3 times, lecture week we went 4 times. So you either had 2 days off or 1 day off a week, depending on what you were doing each week. And basically lectures, obviously, like you're in a massive hall, and it's a lot of people, around, I want to say 180, 200, I don't even know, honestly, it's a lot of people. But what am I trying to say? But the practicals, which are the labs, are smaller groups. And again, I'm going to talk more about the labs in another video. I'm going to go more in depth in more specifically biomedical science. So in my university you don't have to like sign your name or anything. They don't do the register basically, or like I know in some universities they have like a tap-in thing when you come in which registers that you're there. In my universities they had nothing like that, apart from one module, anatomy and physiology. Apart from that, no one takes the register. So you come in, you don't, no one gives 2 francs. So yeah, so what I noticed was at the beginning of the year, loads of people would turn up to all the lectures like good little girls and boys, but by the end a lot of people were not turning up, including me. Like honestly, there were times when I thought my time was better spent at home revising there instead of going to university. I'm not gonna lie to you, there were times when I couldn't get up in the morning to go to my 9 a.m. lecture. Again, not gonna lie to you, it happens, guys, it happens. But what I will say is, you're not gonna go to a lecture, just make sure that you're doing your work at home, just because the work is gonna pile up, and then by the end of the year, when you're trying to revise, you're like, oh my god, I've never seen this. Oh my god, what is this? Which is what I was doing. So to avoid that, if you're not going to be going in, make sure you go over your lecture slides at home and look over everything. Trust me. So I would say the best way to make friends at uni is to join societies. So I know a lot of people might say go to freshers, but actually I feel like the best way is to go to societies, because freshers is where everyone is like new, and basically I feel like freshers is more like forced friendships. Obviously I know there are people who make genuine friends from freshers, but for the most part it's friendships just because you're all new and you just want to make a friend. So you make a friend with the next person you see. So you might not even have that much in common, and you might find along the way that actually you don't really gel together. So my advice is to go to societies if you want to make friends that have the same interests as you. Like for example, if you like dancing, if you like TV shows, if you like, you know, just whatever you like, they have like different societies. So the good thing about societies is the fact that you will be with people who have the same interests as you. So obviously you're gonna have a lot in common, because you're gonna have so much to talk about straight away. You're literally just gonna gel immediately. So yeah, for instance, in my uni they have the dance society, they have the Christianity society, they have the mature student society, they have drama society. So yeah, like literally you'll find something that you really enjoy, and I advise you to join a society. I myself did not join a society last year just because I was strapped for time, if I'm being honest. In between my uni work and looking after my child, I struggled for time, so I did not want to join something that I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep up. So if you're a person who doesn't have those responsibilities that I have, you're obviously going to have time. So please join societies. You will make friends really quickly, and you will settle in university much easier. So yeah, the first week of university was really chilled, I would say, because we are all getting to know the place, meeting new people. So we didn't really have a lot like academic wise. We just had like little talks from different lecturers just to introduce us to each module, the library people. So yeah, it was really chilled. And that time I feel like a lot of people made friends that at some point might have changed, maybe, just because again it's the thing of when you first start being friends with the closest person that's there, and then realizing you're two different people that really don't have that much in common. But by the end of the year, honestly, I feel like you find your true friends, you find people that you will get along with, so there's nothing to worry about there. And honestly, I feel like I am one of those people that struggle to make friends. Like I'm really like quiet and to keep to myself, so going into an environment like that, I actually was a little bit nervous, just because I know those types of situations kind of give me anxiety. But I think within the week I was talking to a few people. Some of them I still talk to now, some of them are still my friends. So yeah, I think just go with your instinct. Don't be friends with everybody just to make friends, just because you will soon find out that there's people who literally are the opposite of you, and then you will not get on at all. I actually just enjoy being friends with just a small number of people anyway, just because I think those friendships for me are better. So, but obviously we're all different. There are people who have like a huge number of friends, which is fine as well. That's what works for them. So you just have to find what works for you and stick to that. Anyway, sorry guys, you might notice that my light changed quite a bit. It's because my battery died, so I had to charge it. Next thing I want to talk about is something that someone wanted me to talk about in this video in my comments on my university tag. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. I will link it somewhere on this video or in my description box. Basically, they were asking if I could talk about diversity in UWE. And my answer to that is I don't think UWE has a diversity issue at all. There's actually quite a lot of different races at UWE, literally so many, and specifically black people. That's what she was talking about, if there's a lot of black people at my uni, and the answer is yes. In my course specifically, there's a good number of black people and just other races in general, and in the uni as a whole there's no problem with diversity whatsoever. So if that was one of your worries going into UWE or uni in general, yeah, what I will say about UWE, I don't think there's a diversity issue at all that I have noticed personally, but obviously maybe someone else will tell you different, but in my opinion, I don't think there's a diversity issue whatsoever. Should I go? Anyway, let me stop singing because I'm bad at it. Basically, I want to talk about relationships. I know you're like, I'm listening, but yeah, listen up. Relationships, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. I think the best advice for that is just be like this. Just have your eyes wide open when you get into relationships with people at uni, because some people want just one night stands, and you might be here wanting a long-term boyfriend, a long-term girlfriend. So just go in, discuss with the other person what they are into. So if you are a person who wants to be in a long-term relationship, discuss that. Just because you don't want to end up in a relationship that is not going anywhere. I know you might be thinking, well, I'm young, I just want to have fun. That's okay too. But all I'm saying is you need to discuss with that person so you both know what you want. You don't want a person here who wants to get it and quit it, and someone who's gonna be like talking about marriage and stuff. So just discuss it and see if you are on the same page, if you get my drift. Another one would be to not solely, I know I'm gonna sound like your mom or something, but you are there for a degree, so your priorities should be your degree, then relationships or boyfriends or whatever. I'm not saying don't have fun, I'm not saying don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, but just be aware and remember that you are paying £9,250 each year. So you do not want to forget what the main reason is for you going to university and then start thinking about, you know, so just breathe and have your priorities right. Trust me, I know I sound like your mother, but it's okay. I'm willing to do it at this time because it's going to help you. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find it useful. and I hope you got something out of it. Maybe it answered one of your questions that you've been dying to know before going to university. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you again on my next video. Bye guys.